Thank you everyone for joining this class. Today class is a little bit lengthy. It is little bit interesting as well with compared to other classes because today I'm going to cover a few of the interview related questions that it may come while you go for interview. We are going to build our home type of lab or home lab that you can build in your laptop, and you can play around with all these Viptela or Cisco SD-WAN components. While building your lab, what is this first step? You know that the step number one is that go and build your cloud, or go or build your controllers. Either it's over cloud or on-prem. But the step number one is to bring up your controller, and then step number two, you have that you can go and bring up your data plane devices such as vEdge or cEdge. So in this lab, we are going to build our vEdge devices, but in upcoming training sessions, you'll find that I'll show that how you can bring up the cEdge devices as well, and then how you can migrate your uh, normal cEdge related to WAN, so normal WAN devices to SD-WAN devices. So that migration lab also I will show you in upcoming session. Okay, so let's start. We know in previous section I told you that while you bring up your control plane, you have to follow some steps. What are those steps? Anyone can answer? Just a rough
Yeah,
answer is
we,
also okay.
yeah,
Yep.
we need to this system IP,
Yeah.
site ID,
So
organization name,
yeah,
and V1 IP, and
that's the
VPN
minimum
0 and VPN.
configuration. But
Yes,
what was the
yes.
steps? The step was, first of all, um, you need some sort of hypervisor, right? You need your images, right? You have to spin your box over hypervisor, correct? In our case, we are going to use VMware Workstation, where we'll go and run our software images for controllers like vManage, vSmart, vPod. So step number one was to spin up your controllers, right? Then step number two was there to do the minimum configuration. While you're doing the minimum configuration, at that time you have to put five important things, and those five important things you can see on your screen. So you can go to the system, okay, and then host name, system IP, site ID, organization name, vbond IP. Why we are giving vbond IP? Because vbond is working as an orchestrator, and vbond has to validate all the components in the fabric. Okay, so once you install your software, so once you do the install, and then once you do the system configuration, inside system configuration, or minimum, better word is minimum configuration. In that you are doing the system configuration, and then you are doing some sort of VPN configuration. This is also termed as a bootstrap configuration. Minimum configuration to bring up the fabric or bring up the devices. Now, once you do this minimum configuration, then step number three, you have to do the certification process. Certification process is a little bit lengthier here, and obviously we'll understand. Once you do the lab, you will understand that. So these are just the configuration for vBond, vManage, vSmart. Then you have to go and add the vBond and vSmart. So you have to log into this dashboard. You can go to the, first of all, you have to add the organization name and the vBond IP, but you have to go to the configuration controllers. You have to go and add your vEdge and cEdge devices. Sorry, you have to go and add your vSmart and vBond inside vManage. Okay, I'm going to show you all these steps, so don't worry. Once you add that, then there is some sort of certification process. That certification process also you'll understand. So you can see that inside vManage, we are adding the controllers. So vManage was there, but we have added vSmart and vBond. Once you add that, then you have to generate some sort of certificate. You have to sign those certificate with the root CA. In our case, we are going to make root CA as our vManage. You can make your vManage as a root authority server as well, a CA root as well. Okay, once it is there, I'm going to show you all these steps. There are some CLI commands as well to sign these certificates, or uh, so that the process that we are going to use to that process is entirely command line based. But in the enterprise network, you'll find that you have some sort of certificate management authority as well. Means if you go and put there your CSR file, it will automatically go and generate the PEM file for you. PEM is nothing but a permanent file. That means you go and put your CSR, it will give you the permanent file, permanent certificate file. Then you have to go and install that particular permanent file to the vManage. I will show you that a step. So once you have this PEM file, you can see this PEM file, then you have to go and install that permanent file. You can go to the controller. In controller on top, you can see that you have the option for install the certificate. You can go select vbond, install vbond certificate, select vsmart, install vsmart certificate, and then you will find that your devices will show here. If you miss anything, these counters will never come 1 or 2. It will always show you 0 0. Okay, so first of all, I will go and show you the steps related to bring up the control plane. Once you bring up the control plane, then you can go and you can bring up the data plane. So after that, you can go and then bring up the data plane. But I will go and cover the control plane deployment first, and then we'll bring up the data plane. So far, if you have any question,
Yes, yes, I have one question here.
yeah.
So we are doing all the image file is uploading on the KVM hypervisor, right? So
KVM
this,
or yes, yes, yes.
yeah, KVM. So this KVM will come under the on-premises solution, or it is the on cloud?
On cloud, you have different hypervisors, so it is on-prem solution.
It is the on-prem solution. So maybe it will install at the data center or maybe at the customer premises. Am I right?
Yes, it will be in your
So,
data center. Yeah.
okay. So there is the one server, and in that server we have to install the hypervisor, that is the KVM hypervisor, and on that we have to install this OVA file and this VMware workstation, right?
So actually, you don't need VMware workstation, because in production you'll find some sort of ESXi, some sort of other hypervisors. On that hypervisor, you can follow the same step.
Okay. Okay. Actually, we are using here the this KVM hypervisor, so maybe they are using, but sometimes they are using the AWS clouds for installation of this image file, the controller image file.
ESXi. Okay, I'll show you that and the deployment how it will be, and install
Hmm.
vManage to AWS cloud. All those
So here
cloud
you are
install is
showing the
different.
example for the on-prem,
Yes,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay, that I want to understand.
So you will, I'll show you that as well. Means all those steps are different. So oops, something is there. Okay, some good training seems DC lesson something. Some website is there. I don't know which one, but they have given this document. See, when you are using hypervisor, ESXi hypervisor, connect to that ESXi, then that OVA file that you have, or OVA file, you call that file inside this. You give the name as a vManage. We are also doing almost same steps, and then he has disabled something, then you go purchase their membership, and then next thing he will tell. But all of these documents are actually free inside Cisco, so I don't know why he is charging money for this, but anyways.
So on
uh
production, we are using the ESXi server, right?
ESXi, yes, ESXi, yeah.
Okay, but here you are showing, for the example, or this is the premises, the KVM hypervisor.
Yes, and then for AWS, you will get all these command guides, everything is there, all step by step document, easy to follow documents are there. and Cisco website.
I have one
So,
question, Arun.
mhm,
So on-prem is fine, but like mostly for the client environment, so they are putting in the Cisco cloud, right? These controllers.
95 to 99% it is over cloud.
No, Cisco cloud, right? Cisco cloud they are
Cisco
putting, right?
Cisco is taking AWS or Azure behind the scene.
Ah, so now all this installation and everything hardware you told that the Cisco will take care, right?
Yes, for the controllers.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, right. So I'm going to show you the steps. Okay. All these steps I'm going to follow. And so far in your VMware, have you tried deploying something?
Not
Yep.
yet.
What you asking?
Have you tried anything in your system?
No, for me it was installed, but I was not aware that you uploaded those files, so I didn't get any message in the WhatsApp.
And one more thing, Ratnesh here.
Mm-hmm.
So we are logging into the this mm, Cisco vManage dashboard, right? Via the GUI. So suppose that in background on the on premises we are uploading the image file, that is the .ova file. So it will be sync up with, means how we will get the URL of that vManage dashboard.
This is really good question. I can answer that. I know the answer for that. So this vManage. So let me try to write here. You will understand. vManage. Okay. Now this vManage, when you're installing this vManage, actually different things are there. We have studied this in our data center. You have something called app. Sorry, you have something called web app and DB. Sorry, D and B, DB, data center DB, web app and DB. Or if you have seen the ICE, that will be suitable example. ICE, ICE, Cisco Identity Services. So when you are installing the ICE, so they are giving you front end, front end and back end. Front end is nothing but PAN, right? What is that? Uh, Personal or maybe persona for administration node. That is front end where you're logging in. That's the GUI interface. And backend is what? PSN, service node, right? That is the backend. So this is a software whose front end is its URL. You can access this particular application via the HTTPS session, right? You got my point, what I'm telling. See, check the example for any Cisco ISR router or CSR routers. Nowadays, you can log into those devices via the HTTP session as well. HTTPS, correct? So when you're logging to that particular uh, software, that will be front end, but back end, there are different services. So once you are installing the VM with that particular IP, you can log in via HTTPS to that VM.
So that is the basically the management IP, right?
That's the management IP. That may be VPN IP. How you are reaching to that vManage. That's the reachability IP. But whenever you are logged in, you are logging to the vManage front end. That's the front end. That's the gate we are meeting. But behind the scene, there are so many services. From front end, you can go and access those services.
So this front end is known as this vManage dashboard.
Dashboard, yes, 100% right. Yeah.
Okay, in background there is a lot of processes going on, and that is on the .ova file.
Yes. packages are
Okay.
there, and obviously you will understand deep about this, because I have separate slides just to understand vManage architecture, how this vManage look like, what are the data stores it has, you know. I have slides, I have, I think, 30-minute session for vManage architecture. So there you will understand more about this.
Okay, okay, got it. So what about the IP we are putting here in the initial configuration on the vManage?
Mm.
From that IP, we are using on the HTTPS
Yes.
semicolon slash slash that
Yeah.
IP, and
That
then
you are.
put the
Yeah.
enter, and it will fetch the information on the dashboard.
Yes.
Okay, okay, okay. So I will wait for this 30-minute class for the vManage architecture later.
Yeah, it will come when I'll cover high availability and redundancy. So I have already shared you the slides. If you go and check, there is one slide deck termed as a high availability and redundancy. There you will find all this information. That will come, I think it will come in maybe 10th or 12th class. It will come. Okay, let's continue. Let's try to build our lab. And I'm going to show you some resources as well. I'll share the document as well. So there is one nice resource, some blog someone has written. The blog is coding packets. So if you go and check the blog, they have explained all these installation process, everything in their blog site. What I have done, that that particular blog I have copied to my OneNote. So this is the steps that we want to set up our lab, and to match this particular lab that someone has uploaded in coding packets, I'm going to use almost same IP address that you are seeing here. Let me increase the font size so you'll see this. One second. Give me.
So can we have access of this one net to install all the control plane?
Yeah, miss, I have generated the URL and I shared, but obviously I have no problem. I will share that link after the class. You can check if you have, if you are able to access this OneNote. So you can see day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4 notes I am putting here, all the notes. You can access it 100%. After the class, you try accessing this via the link that I'll provide. Let's see that if you are able to access or not. Okay. All right. So um, the font size is small. Let me increase the font size, but I'm not able to do Control A since I have to, do like this, and this is slow. 20 maybe. Okay. So what I'm doing nowadays, that whenever I have to read something, I'll show you one trick. So you can go here in this place, and before HTTPS you can type read colon enter. It will open in Microsoft Edge. You can read this document now. This is in very much readable format. Okay, so you can read it, even it will read for you as well if you want to use the text. Now it is reading that. Anyways, lab topology, leave it. Anyways, we are going to deploy the controller first, and then we'll go and deploy the edge devices. Very much same type of IP address I'm going to use, 10, 10, 100, 172.16 or 172.10, etc. And if you scroll down this little bit, you'll find that once you install these devices, so what is the step number 1? Installing these devices, right? So I'll go here to my VMware, and in this VMware, I'll go and install vManage first. Okay, so open a virtual machine. I think I have that. I have shared these images with you as well.
Yesterday you installed, right?
I have to show you again and again, right? You can delete and
Okay,
reinstall.
okay.
So vManage, okay, import. You can do like this as well, or you can simply click to the icon and it will start this process. What are the things we have done with vManage? We have to go and give some sort of hard disk. So to make this little bit standard, I'll go and provide the hard disk of 50 gig. So okay, finish. So we have added one hard disk. Then I have to go and add the network adapter, right? So I'll go and add two adapter, vMnet1 network adapter and vMnet2. Okay. So what we have done, we have added the hard disk. Then we have added two network adapter, vMnet1, vMnet2. Oops, 1 and 2. Now click power on button. It will take 1 to 2 minutes to bring up these services. If it is required, then we have to go and change the VPN interface. So give him some time. Meanwhile, again, I'll go back and this time I'll go and do the installation for vSmart. Oops, sorry, you have to click here, open a virtual network. vSmart, give the name vSmart, import. Oops, access is denied. vSmart. Seems it is in progress, so it's not allowing me to do it. But anyways, we'll do this first and then we'll go to vSmart. It's in progress. Let him complete. Oops. Admin, 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 admin. So I can see that one IP over ETH0, that is my VPN 0 interface. Then I'll do one thing, I'll go to conf t and then VPN 0, no interface ETH1, then VPN 512, interface ETH1, IP DHCP client, no shutdown, commit and quit. So interface description will give you that, okay, for ETH1 you will get some IP. So now you have two interface, one is over VPN 0, one is over ETH1, right? Okay, let's go back here, open virtual machine.
One question here.
Mhm.
In a laptop setup, how it is getting two different subnet? Any settings is there?
Cannot access. Yeah, I will show you that how you will get. VS, VS Smart 1, I'll give name. Let me see if I have any old file which is blocking the install. I will show you that. If your question is good, I'll show you that how you can do
No,
that.
no, no problem, no problem.
VMware. Oh, seems that one old image is there. Let me delete this. It is in use, seems. Well, there is some problem. But if you have such problem, then what you can do, that while importing this vSmart, you can give vSmart 1. You can just change the name. Try import. Now it is importing. Some name conflict was there. Some old file was there and it was doing some conflict. So here also you can go, and you can go and add the interfaces. So you can go and add VMnet1. By default in VMware, they are giving you some interfaces, I think 1 to 16. So here you can see in the drop down menu, oh, 0 to 19, and how you can specify the exact IP that you have to go and set the DHCP scope per interface. How you can set that, I will show you after maybe 10-15 minutes. Okay. So now you can see that you have VMnet1, VMnet2. For vSmart and vBond, you don't need data store, means you don't need the storage. That's enough for us. We can go and click power on this virtual machine while it is powering on. Okay, no problem. Let him boot up. It will not take much time. Meanwhile, what I can do, that I will open one Palace session to super putty somewhere. I have created vManage file and all. Reconnect. This is vManage. You can see that vManage is okay. This is very much up. If you want to check the um, configuration, so you can see that VPN 0 configuration, and you can see that VPN 5.2 configuration. Both are almost same. Later on, I'll come and I'll change these configurations. So let's go back here to our vSmart. It's telling that vSmart is ready. Show interface, so interface description. Now, once you have this IP, 100.35 is the IP. Even I can go and I can log in from there as well. So if I go to my empty putty and I have vSmart here, I can go and change the properties. This time it took IP 35. vSmart, yes. So you can see that you have the vSmart show interface description. You can do config T, VPN 0, no VPN 0, no interface ETH1, then VPN 512, interface ETH1, IPDHCP client, no shutdown, commit and quit, show interface description. You'll see that VPN 512 will get the IP range in 10 range. So you can see both the subnets are different. This is 172 range, this is 1010 range that I have created inside VMware itself. I'll show that how you can do it in 10 minutes. Okay, so now our vManage is there, our vSmart is there. Then I'll go and bring up vBond. So we can go back to our VMware.
So Ratnesh, here
Mhm.
this interface is getting the IP from the DSCP client, right?
Yes, yes, yeah.
So where is the DSCP server? How it is getting the IP address?
See, once you are in VMware Workstation, you can click Edit.
Mm-hmm.
You can click Virtual Network Editor.
Mm-hmm.
Inside Virtual Network Editor, if you go here, see at the moment everything is running. I need to stop everything and do the change. But you can see here that for VMnet1, I have given this range 10-1000. VMnet2, I have given range 172-1000. So once you select VMnet1, here you can see DHCP setting. You can click there and you can change this. At the moment it is running, so it is not showing you anything, like it is grayed out. But I have given a starting range 31 to 254, like that. Very
Okay, okay.
easy.
So this VMnet 1, 2, and 3,
Mhm.
this is the respected to the this ETH0, ETH1, ETH3, ETH2,
That's
right?
right, yeah. So VMnet1
Okay.
pointing to ETH0, VMnet2 is pointing to ETH1, you're right. This is your virtual interfaces, and that is mapping with our device interfaces. You're right, yeah.
Radnesh? I,
Hmm.
this option, whatever you're saying, I don't get it in my Mac VMware Fusion. This kind
VMware
of
Fusion
setting.
you are not getting. You can install VMware Workstation.
I think Mac you don't support. Yeah.
VMware Fusion.
I
I think
think
there
so.
should be that option. It should be there. You can go and click to edit virtual network editor. Click there.
Okay, I will explore this. I have to explore. Okay.
All right. So next we can go and see for vBond we don't have different image. So vEdge image. So vEdge will work as a vBond as well. Okay. vBond. Importing. Let him import. And here you can see by default you have 4 interfaces. So what I will do, I will simply go and change the interfaces. So one interface I'll go and make as a vMnet1, and other interface I'll go and make as a vMnet2, and that will solve my purpose. The rest I will leave as it is. Okay, so we are bringing up vBond as well. It's coming up. Now in this particular vBond, when I'll go and run show interface description, you will find that it has the Ethernet interface. Generally, Ethernet interface we are making as a VPN 512, but you will find that it has gig interfaces as well. Why? Because this is VH device. So if I go here, admin and admin, show interface description, you'll see here that 512 is taking correct IP and VPN 0 is also taking correct IP. So no need to change anything. By default, it almost perfectly bringed up for us. Now I can go back here to the putty, and for putty vbond is there. Let me see that what's IP I have saved earlier, 33. See 33. That means if I double click, it will open 172.10.133. It's not coming up. I know what's the reason. I will tell you the reason as well. So vBond 172.10.100. If you go and check vBond, let me show you the configuration for VPN 0. For VPN 0, so here you can go and check show run VPN 0. You'll find that you have some tunnel configuration. I'll come back to this tunnel configuration after maybe next class we'll discuss more about this. So you can go to VPN 0 interface. What interface? It has gigi 00, and then do no tunnel interface at the moment. Later on we'll go and enable it. Even today only we are going to enable the tunnel. So for the moment I'll disable that tunnel, and then if you go back here and if you refresh the page, you should get the connection. You should change the name as well. The system host name we want. Commit and quit. So now we have done a step number 1. Remember, run these devices, means bring up these devices. So we have bring up our all 3 control plane devices. We manage, then oops, then I should change this. Then we bond and then we smart, like that. So we manage, we bond, we smart. Okay. So all 3 devices are up and running. Now, what was the step number 2? You need minimum configuration. So I am going to put the minimum configuration here. So if I go back to the blog page, even before doing the minimum configuration, it is telling that to go and change the organization name from the dashboard and go and give the uh, vBond IP to that dashboard. So I can come here, we do HTTPS. What is the IP? 172.10.100.31, right? This is our vManage IP. Admin is the username and password. And what it is telling that you can go to the, let me show you this. So you can go to the administration settings and change the organization name. So I will go and use the same because it is easy to follow the same sort of document. I'll copy this organization name, network lab something, without dot, without period. Okay. Put here organization name, this, organization name, this, save it. Then I have to go and put the duplicate key previously assigned record. Some duplication is there, no problem. Then we can go and edit the vBond IP. What is our vBond IP? Show interface description. Interface description. This is our vBond without this slash 24. So you can go and give save. So you have given the organization name, you have given the vBond IP as per the document. Let's follow the document. Once you give it, now you have to give the minimum configuration. That is nothing but bootstrap configuration, right? So we'll go and give the bootstrap configuration. You can see the system IP, site ID, org name, vBond IP. So in our case also everything is same except this vBond IP. So I'll go to vManage first, conf t. What's the vBond IP? vBond IP is 172.10.133. Commit and quit. Apart from that, if you go and see the VPN 0 configuration, we have already same thing. VPN 512, we have already same thing. Okay. Then we'll go to vBond. Now in vBond, there is some trick. What trick is there? So while you are doing the vBond configuration, you are giving the vBond IP itself. You are telling this that you are local and you are vBond. Okay. So this is the way that you are making vEdge device. Remember, it was vEdge device. vEdge device we are making as a vBond with these two commands. So this also we can copy and paste. Only thing here is this, that we have wrong vBond IP that we will edit in our paste. So I'll copy till here, and I can go here to the vBond, paste this as the vBond IP, but here you use the keyword called local and vBond only. Commit and quit. The rest of things are almost same. Then we'll go to vSmart. vSmart also I'll go and use the configuration. Conf t, paste the configuration. vBond is 33, right? Commit and quit. Make sure that all these controllers having reachability. So I should go and ping to different controllers. One is 33, that is your vBond, and other one is 31, that is your vManage. Okay, till this point, any question?
Yes, so in the vBond, we are not telling about the vManage and the vSmart IP, means that their details.
Yeah, so we are not telling it. Why? Because they should know about vBond, because vBond is the orchestrator. So everyone, so first request is coming to vBond and vBond is doing the response.
Right. So vBond also knows about their vManage and vSmart, how they know it without any IP details?
Yeah, so you will come to know that how they are knowing it, but you are some sort of authenticator. So think like this: say whenever you are configuring whenever you're configuring any switch, any network switch, okay, you are configuring the radius server, right? Radius server IP, radius server user port, and whatever two ports are there in there, accounting and other, correct? But
Correct.
in the radius server, are you doing configuration related to switch and all?
No.
No, I think we are doing right, Ratnesh. In the
We
radio
are,
server, we put the switch IP. In the same way here also, it was my yesterday question, right? We are putting some thing in advance so that it can identify and authorize with the help of PNP, whatever you are telling yesterday.
yeah. So we'll leave that PNP at the moment. But what I'm telling that in a switch, we are configuring that where is radius server, right? And in the radius server, we are just giving the switch IP, but we are not configuring the attributes for radius for all the switches, because it will understand once the request will come to me. So yesterday we have discussed about this thing is this that the the vBond, they are working as a whitelist, right? How it is working as a whitelist, you'll come to know when I'll complete this configuration. So we are telling the vBond that you have to update your whitelist, you have to update your entry for vSmart and vManage. So it knows only the, it knows only the IP for those devices. But here, when you are configuring the vBond IP to the devices itself, the reason behind this is that it is working as a DNS server, this vBond. So you have your vBond. This is again little bit advanced thing that we are discussing here. Now, when we are configuring this vBond, so I'll go to vSmart. I'll show you this thing. You'll understand more about that. In I think day number 1 or 2, someone has asked that, okay, for vManage, you are creating the cluster. So inside cluster, you have vManage 1, vManage 2, vManage 3, etc. Right? What we are doing for vSmart, what we are doing for vBond. So I will not tell you about vSmart at the moment, but I will tell you about vBond. For vBond, what we are doing, vBond can work as our DNS server. DNS server in terms of that you can assign any URL, and that URL you can give 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, any number of IP. So what does it mean? It means that you can go to system, you can go to vBond, you can give IP, you can go to vBond, you can give IP. Commit and quit. So seems it is not taking that IP, but let me show you this thing. You can go to uh,
You have to put in vSmart, huh?
yeah, I'll show you what I'm telling. So DNS name, say cisco.com, and this cisco.com that we are giving as a DNS, say commit and quit, show run system. See, this cisco.com we are giving here. Now this cisco.com can be glued with 456 IP addresses. Okay, so whatever vSmart or vManage or any edge devices, they are near to vBond, they will get authenticated from that particular vBond. Okay, and then they will join the fabric. So for vBond, it is also working as a scalable solution, or it's also working as a high availability and redundancy fashion, in a way that one vBond you have in east zone, one you have in west, one in north, one in south, like that you can divide. How? So all the vBond has same URL but different IP addresses. Okay, you
Yes.
understood this? Any doubt in this?
No,
Um,
it's a
So here, suppose that the V bond is working for the this initial bring up process, initial authentication of the VS devices, and once it is join the fabric, SD-WAN fabric, then V bond will tell us about the who is the V Smart and who is the V Manage, right? So V Manage having the IP of the V bond, but vBond is don't have the IP about this vSmart and vManage. Then how this vBond is know about their vSmart and the vManage?
See, this vBond, when I'll complete the configuration, you'll come to know that we are telling vBond that what is the IP of vManage and vSmart. Not with the CLI configuration, but some other options he will come to know. Okay.
So we have to put it separately, right, in the vBond
Yes, yes,
configuration.
yes, yes. You will come to know once I complete this this lab.
Yeah,
Not
okay,
like
okay.
CLI configuration we are putting, but some
Mhm.
other way we are letting him know that what's the IP, actually what's the system IP for vManage and vSmart.
Okay, so we will put it later, right, in the vBond.
In the vBond. Yeah, in this lab only you'll come to know. Maybe after 15-20 minutes.
Okay, okay, fine.
I have question for this.
Yeah.
So the system IP, it can be any IP, right? Or any
System
between this
IP is
base
not a
one
routable IP. You can say
local IP, right?
it's a fabric
I
IP.
can
Yes.
put anything I can put, right?
Yeah.
And the site ID, it has to be same.
Um. Again, good question. Because we are just bringing up the lab. You're asking few questions which is actually not relevant at the moment, but I'm going to answer you. In that case, this lab bring up will become lengthier. Means I just
Okay,
wanted
no
to bring
problem.
up the lab and I want to show you this. There are concepts related to system IP, site ID, organization name, vBond, some concept is there, why it is in this way. And I will cover that obviously. But
Okay, that's
what I
fine.
want that you just bring up your lab, start working, and then obviously you'll understand the concepts. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So let's focus on the task that we have today. Just bring up the lab. I'll come back about site ID. We have actually, separate lab for this site ID, system IP. 100% you'll understand. I haven't reached you the attributes for TLOC and OMP and all those things. All these attributes have certain meanings inside them. Okay, I'll cover that. But thank you. Thanks for the question. I'll put in my bucket. I'll answer you later. Maybe next class once we bring up the lab. Any other thing related to this lab? But you can
That's
ask
pretty
any
much
question.
clear.
Clear, okay. But you can ask
Yeah.
any question. I will answer you maybe next class, next class. It's good that you can remind me that okay, you haven't covered this thing. I'll 100% cover. Okay, so let's move on. What we have done a very easy thing so far. And once you have the install, once you have the bootstrap configuration, then you have to go and bring up these devices into the fabric. And one very valid question, that how vBond will come to know about vSmart and vManage. In vSmart, in vManage, in vBond, we are telling who is the orchestrator IP, all three devices. But vManage and vSmart, we are not telling, sorry, the vBond, we are not telling that what's the IP address of vSmart and vManage, but how vBond will come to know that what's the IP of the vManage and vSmart. Okay, we'll try to understand this. So let's continue the deployment. You'll understand this. So we have done this bootstrap configuration. In this, they have configuring edge device as well. Leave it at the moment. the edge device. We'll come back there. Then certification. This is the key part here to do the certification. In this lab or even in production as well, you can make vManage as your root certificate server, CA server. Okay, but in that case, you have to generate the root key. And how these root keys are working, you have something called public key. Okay, and you have something called private key, and in between public and private key you have some sort of shared key, so they can understand uh, public key, private key. They should understand, they should authenticate each other, and they should generate some sort of in between key known as a shared key. You'll understand all this process here. First of all, I have to go to the vManage and I have to generate the root key. Okay, so you can go here and you can go to the vManage. You just type vshell or v and then tab. Vshell will come. We are inside the Linux shell. Cat etc os release is one of the command in most of the Linux, but here it is not working. But anyways, we are in the Linux shell, and here you can go and paste that configuration. SSL, open SSL, generate output OUT means out, root CA. Now here you can go and check your root CA key has been generated with this command. Okay, then once you have the root CA, then generate a root CA permanent certificate. So from your root CA.pim, you are generating the permanent certificate with the root key. So here you can see this long command, and you don't need to understand all these things, you know. Although this is one long command, what it is telling that you take the input as a root key, use some encryption, some hashing method like SHA. For these many days, subject you can give network is just the CN name, and the CN is vManage lab, and generate. So in and out, you can see the in should be this part of generating the permanent certificate, but out is root CAPIM. And when you are giving this slash slash, that means you are going to the next line, so there is no space. This entire command is in one single line. So I can go here, paste it, enter, and then you can see that your PIM has been generated. Initially you have only root CA, now you have a root key and you have PIM. All these root CA and PIM, they should be used by all the other devices to do the authentication process. Okay, now we can go, and again there is one command that you want to install this from the CLI mode. Where, in which particular folder? So we are working inside home and admin folder, and you can go and check present working directory. You are inside the home and admin, but exit from here and do the install for certificate. And it is telling that successfully install the certificate. Where we are installing? Home admin. We are very much done with vManage. Now what it is telling that go to the web interface, go to the configuration certificate controller, generate the vManage CSR certificate. I will go and generate, I'll show you that how you can go and generate it. Download this CSR, and from this CSR that we are going to generate inside the dashboard, from that CSR we'll go and generate the CRT. So input is vManage CSR. We are going to generate the CRT. Once we have the CRT, then we'll go and install that certificate. I'll show that how we can do it. So let's go here to the vManage, and you can go to the configuration certificate. Here you can see you have your VH, you have your controller. Click to the controller. Inside controller, you can see that we have vManage. Here you have this menu. Click there, generate the CSR. It's generating. Download this CSR. CSR is coming. This is the CSR. What I will do, I will copy this CSR, and then I can go to the vManage. You can go to the shell. You can use VI editor. What I want, vmanage.csr, and insert that. Oops, what's the problem? I don't know. So some wrong thing happens. I will go and quit from here, and I'll go and copy that one more time. No need to download, actually you can copy from here as well. Copy, go here, open your VI editor, type I for insert, paste it, skip, colon, write and Q, means write this file and quit. See cat vmanage.csr. You can see that you have your CSR. Once you have your CSR, from that CSR you can go and then you can generate the CRT. So now you have to go to the shell and generate this. Okay, so I can go to the, we are already in the shell, and it should be okay. Otherwise, you see it is telling the signature is okay. Otherwise, it will not work. The CA root certification will not work. Now it is telling that go to the configuration, install, and you have to go use this vManage CRT, and you have to install the certificate. Okay, that is the final step for vManage. So now I can go here to the CLI. I can go and check cat vmanage.crt. I can copy this entire file. Then I will go to the GUI. Where we have that GUI? Here you have. Close this. Select it. On top you can see install certificate. Click there. Whatever copied, paste here. Install. Now if everything is okay, it will tell you okay. Yes, the certificate has been successfully installed. Otherwise, it will throw error. So success install certificate, you can go and read this. Now see here, the vManage IP, these are the system IP, right? The device IP. Now these IPs are going to sync inside vBond. How it will be sync? We will see in 10 minutes. We are going to manually sync this IP. So vManage will come to know. See, here there is one command send to vBond. So once we do all these install, we'll click send to vBond. Means vBond, we are telling that what is the serial certificate number, what is the system IP for vManage, what is the system IP for vSmart, what is the certificate for vSmart. Those things will go and sync with vBond in the back. So indirectly vBond is knowing your serial number and your IP. Okay. Any question at this point? Just follow these steps that I am following, and you'll come to know all behind the scene things that is happening. Now for vBond, what it is telling that add the root PIM certificate to the vBond. Now already we have generated this permanent file where in vManage. So from vManage we'll go and copy that where to vBond. In vBond, where you are copying inside home admin inside the vBond. So I'll go and copy this command. No need to generate that file one more time because already we have generated in a step number 1. So now I'll go to the vBond. Here we have the vBond. I'll go to, actually this is CLI command, means from here you have to run. The problem here is this, that the IP address is not correct, because in our case that is 172.10.131, little bit difference there in the IP. And this is our VPN 0 IP, not VPN 512. Just do a small correction there. Enter. Now, if everything is okay, um, vBond will SCP to vManage, copy that particular PIM inside its own home admin place. Give the password as admin, and it's copied successfully. So it is telling that root search chain is successfully copied, but still I can't see this inside where? Inside home admin. So where I am inside home admin and I can't see this root.pim. That's not good. But if it is not installed here, don't worry. I will go and do the manual install. But I can't see here any file, but no problem. I'll go and re-verify this. Okay. So no worries. Let's continue. And password, the same thing it is telling. Now what it is telling that go to your vManage dashboard and add this vBond. Okay. So I'll go and add this vBond, and I'm going to answer you one of your question. Go to configuration devices, go to controller, add the controller. Your controller is vBond. What's the IP for vBond? 172.10.132, right? Let me verify that. 172.10.133. IP is 133. Then username password admin. Now here you can see that generate CSR is checked mark. Otherwise you have to go and do that. And once you add the vSmart, there it will ask you option DTLS or TLS. Here it is not giving you option DTLS, TLS because by default the control plane will be DTLS, right? Add it.
So
Now,
generate CSR will be selected, huh? Has
yes,
to be selected.
yeah, it is selected. So now if you go to certificate controller, you can see that for v bond we have the CSR generated. Otherwise you can come here and regenerate, so there is no problem. Okay. So we'll come back here and inside vbond again I'll go here vi vbond.csr, press I for insert, copy this, escape, colon, right, quit. So now you have your CSR, and from that CSR will generate the CRT. So it's okay. We have the CSR. I don't want to miss anything. If we miss, then it will not work. So we have generated the CSR like this, and now um, from this CSR we are generating the vbond CRT. So I will go and do that, but it will not work seems. Let's see. So from cell itself, I am running this command. From CSR, I want to generate CRT. Enable. Why? Because it is not able to get two files. One file is LA, root CA key and root PIM. These are missing there. So what I'll do here, no problem, will manually add that. I'll go here and I'll add VI. What was that? Root CA dot key, right? Let's see. Root CA dot key. Root CA dot key. Okay. Insert and escape. And then other one was root. What was that? Root. Let's see that. Root CA dot pem. So cat root CA dot PIM. This is the other. CA dot PIM. Now we have those files. Now we can go and put that configuration. It should generate the CRT. Enter. So I guess signature is okay and CA it is generated, right? Then what you're doing, you're copying that CRT and then you're installing the certificate, right? So now you can go to the controllers, click install certificate, copy the CRT, put there, and it is telling send the certs to vBond. So I will do that. Cat vBond CRT got generated. This is actually your certificate, which is authenticated via the public key, actually root CA certificate and root key. So then you can go here and close it. We are here. Just click here to vBond. It will become this yellow, and then click install certificate and then paste here. Click install. Now it is in progress. If everything is okay, it will get installed. So work in progress, we can wait. It's got installed. You can go back to the certificate page. You can go to the controllers. And that's the thing it is telling you. What it is telling, select this. And we want obviously know about vBond, but you have to do this, send to vBond. See, we are sending that vManage information to vBond. That is one of your question you have asked me earlier. See, done push vs smart list, done put vs smart list. Behind the scene, actually, behind the scene things are getting synced. You just use this send to vBond. Okay, so what we have done, we have install the vManage. We have done the installation for vBond. Next thing is that you have to go and add the vSmart. So you can go and add the vSmart. What's the IP for that? 100.35 maybe. I will confirm. Here you can see you have option for DTLS and TLS. But in that vBond, you don't have that option and generate the CSR. That's okay. I can go and re-verify the IP for vSmart 100.35. Okay, 100.35. Click add. This is just that we have added the device and we have generated the CSR. You can go to the certificate and you copy that CSR. For vSmart, CSR has been generated. I'll go and copy this. And then I can go back here to the CLI, VI, vsmart.csr, res I, insert, escape, colon, write and quit. We have that. Now, I think I have done some mistake here. Mistake in the sense that you should follow the steps that they are telling. So once my vBond is done, I send that. vBond is done. See, I haven't done these steps. I should done this system is generate the key like permanent key and root key, etc. And then only I should go and add the device, but no problem. I have done all these things before generating the key and the PIM. So I'll go and do the manual copy because for vBond also I have to done that thing manually. So here also I'll do it, no problem. From here also you can copy cat the key and copy it, or you can like do like this as well. Let's see, I for insert. Simply go and copy this, insert here. This is your root CA. Like that you can go and create root CA PIM. I for insert. Here you can go and you can do a root CA PIM. Copy this entirely and come here. And the last thing that we have to do is that we have to generate the CRT out of this. So we have to use this, copy this, go back here, should give you just signature OK, and then you can go and copy this CRT. You can copy this CRT. You can go back to the dashboard, go here, because this step you have to install the certificate. So here you can see on top you have installed the certificate, paste it, install it. This is in progress. If everything is okay, it will show you green signal. Should have VPN 0 reachability in between. My god, it's got failed. That's the problem. Unable to validate the certificate. Some certificate issue came in between, and that's the we want update error, because I haven't followed the steps, so it was failing. But no problem, we'll try to figure it out. That's not good. Okay. And even in the bottom also you can see, again you can see here your answer. So add the device, generate the CSR, upload the certificate, update the vManage. So whenever you are uh, installing vSmart and vManage, by default they are sending their information to whom? vManage. They are telling that this is my system IP, this is my system IP, this is my certificate number, this is my certificate number. You put inside your whitelist. So later if someone will come with this IP, you have to go and check my certificate serial number, and then I will go and check your organization name. Same thing we have a study discussed in day number 2. Okay, let's try to rectify this. I haven't followed the step, and that's the reason it is throwing error. So what I will do, I'll just go and follow this step that is here, and I'll remove the old keys. Okay, I'll remove the old key and I'll try to add the new key and all. So once you are inside the vSmart, do this thing, rm minus r, is it root ca m, and then srl. Okay, rm minus r vsmart dot crt, rm minus r vsmart dot crt, remove it forcefully, csr, and after removing also you'll see that it will work. ls minus la. Okay, rm minus r seems it is not able to remove, but it's okay, it will overwrite. Okay, so what we'll do, I'll go back to the document. I will go and copy this and paste here. This is under VPN 0, and this is the vManage IP. Okay. Mm, exit. This command you have to give from the CLI, right? So CLI, and then tab ls minus la. Although I can't see this is there inside that, but we'll go and generate root ca dot key, not from here, but you should take from the vManage. So okay, vManage, your key I want root ca dot key till here. Oops. Escape, here, overwrite, type I for insert, paste, escape. Okay, and then I want to create the PIM. Go to your vManage, and here, all right, so we have our keys, and now we can follow those steps. I should, so you can go to devices, controller, and you can see that you have option to invalidate. You can go and invalidate, and you can see that device is gone. See, the device is gone. Now why? Because we want to add the VSmart with the IP 172.10.100 dot, what was that, 35 admin. uh, Make sure that IP is correct. 72.10.135, it's correct. Then now generate the CSR. Whenever you're generating the CSR, they are generating new CSR all the time, right? So you have your CSR, view that CSR, copy this, go here to the cell VS Smart CSR. I hope that is correct. And right, great. Okay, so the last step we have is this, that we can go and generate the CRT from this CSR. So this command, showing okay, and then I can go and do the vsmart CRT, copy this, and then you have to install this. So close this, and on top you can see that install the certificate. You go and click install. This time it should get installed, and once it will get installed, then we'll go and check the next steps. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Yep, successful. So in the video you see that if you have any problem, how I have deleted those files and then I have created again. You can do it like I have done. Now once everything is okay, right, still if you want some precaution and something, then you can go here, and still you can send to the vbond. So there is no harm sending this information 2-3 times to vbond. Vbond learn my system IP, vbond learn my certificate serial number. Okay, that means everything is synced with vbond. So now vbond knows my identity apart from itself. Great. So now if you go to the dashboard, you should see one here and one here. That means your control plane is up and running. If you're not seeing this, that means you have some, still you have some issues. Okay. You have any question you can ask?
Uh, it's still the same question yesterday asked, right? You're
Mhm.
sending information to the vMon, right?
Yes, yes, we want you.
But what is the logic in the vMon, right? Like it is understanding it is the correct person.
Yeah, so it is working as a whitelist model. So whatever information that we want has, he has that information. Now next time if the same person is coming with that identity, he is allowing it to join the fabric.
Now that whitelisting, where you are doing here that step, like
Yeah, you can see
in
here
the
the
vMon.
configuration certificate. We are sending on top. You can say, let me highlight that. So what you need to do, you have to go to VS Smart, click this, send to vBond. You have to go to vManage, click to send to vBond.
Here is the question. Like this is your sending from V Smart to the vMon, right? You are sending.
Yes, we are sending,
But
yes.
what is previously whitelisting or the kind of information exist in the vMon, so that it's allowing. It is coming from a correct source.
See, um, at the moment, we are not bringing the fabric. These steps that we are doing is pre-built fabric. That means that if you go and check, so show control connection, nothing is up. What we have done so far, that your controllers have IP reachability to other controllers. They haven't formed the tunnel. So if they do not form the tunnel, they will not exchange the different parameters. They can exchange few of the data, but they will not exchange the policies, the templates, and all those things. To become a part of Fabric, they should authenticate each other. Now, how will they will become part of Fabric? So vManage will tell vBond, say vBond, I want to be part of Fabric. Then vBond will go and check its whitelist model. Okay, this vManage, I have its system IP, I have its serial number, so it can join the Fabric. Now your question is this, that already you are in the vManage, and vManage is telling vBond, and vBond is telling vManage, right? That's your question.
Now
At
my
the
question is,
moment, that the dashboard you are seeing here, this is just to bring up the fabric. You know, it's like chicken and egg. Who came first? You are bringing the fabric from this dashboard only, and then you are doing all the operation from this dashboard only. Yep. This dashboard is our single resource at the moment to provide all the information to vBond, and the information that we are providing to the vBond, again they will validate when the vBond will come, when the vManage or vSmart will come to join the fabric. So this is pre-fabric deployment. But if you do all the CLI configuration, everything, you want to bring up the tunnel, then again it will do the authentication. At the moment, tunnels are not up. So what I'm telling, that if you go here and if you check show control connection, nothing is there. They haven't formed the fabric at the moment. But once they want to join any device, once they want to join the fabric, they have to contact vBond, and then only they have to do some exchange, and then only your control connection will come up.
so this whitelisting you will show it later, right? That's the next step.
No, whitelisting I have already shown. Whitelisting is nothing but this step. You are here in certificate, right? You are in the controller, right? Then
Mm-hmm.
this is vManage. So assume that vBond, this is your vBond. So vBond don't know what is vManage IP and serial number. So what you are doing, you are selecting vManage and then send to vBond. So what is happening here? You can check this. Initial push serial list. Initializing push serial. Where you are pushing. Pushing serial list to device 111. Sending to this. This is something that you are sending this list to the vBond. 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 It's quite interesting. Now if you go to the vBond, let me show you this. So you are inside vBond, right? This is something hidden command. You can go and check show certificate validate. Let me check. I'll show that. You can go and check something called validated list. Show vManage. Show. No, let me quickly check here because it is understanding this orchestrator. Okay. Show orchestrator. Yeah. Valid vSmarts. See. So he has the list for vSmart. Either this or this may be vSmart serial number. So if you go here, check vSmart, this is C4E, C4E. See, he already knows the serial number. Like that, you can go and check show orchestrator, valid vManage. I think vManage option is not there, but vEdges and all, they have those entries. I think this is that 7B. 7. See, it has the serial number for vManage and vSmart.
So
You can
those
see,
serial number it's coming from the vSmart and vManage we are sending, right?
yes, from vManage, vManage is only dashboard you have. So from
Uh-huh.
vManage itself, you are sending to vBond, you know.
Uh, Actually, again I'm asking. So, so this is from vSmart I am sending to V1. But my question is like, what basis vBond is understanding that is the correct serial number? Like how I will allow this device.
Okay.
What is the
So
pre-existing or pre-configuration there?
so you can see that vBond knows that these are my valid serial number, right?
No, but you are saying that you are sending from the vSmart these things.
vSmart.
Yeah,
I'm not sending from vSmart. vSmart is also sending. vManage is also sending. Where they are sending?
vManage is sending, right? Yeah.
Yes. vManage is also sending, and this information you have everywhere. Now, if you go here and check, show control valid vBond, vSmart. See, so he also has this. Actually, behind the scene, all the controllers they have information about the serial number and the IP, system IP. They know about themselves, and then they are doing the authentication among themselves. Still, you have some doubt. So see, when you add the device here, then once you add the device, then you are sending this information. On top, it is clearly written, send to vBond. This information you are sending to vBond. Then you are selecting vManage, then send to vBond. So vBond come to know about your serial number and the system IP. That's it.
So what I notice here, the root certificate is same for all controller, right? The vManage, vBond, and vSmart.
Public CA, that was the public certificate. From public, they have generated their own private key.
Okay.
Yeah. That is, I told you, one is public key, one is private, and in between your shared key. This is actually RSA type of transaction. If you check how this RSA is working, this is the same way that we have done here with OpenSSL. All right, so you can watch this recording. Still, you can see it is showing 00. Still, they haven't joined the fabric, so I'm going to join the fabric now. And I wish if I can go and start debugging. Debug transport. debug video. Okay, I have started some debug here inside vManage, and let's try to join the fabric. So remember I told you that inside VPN you have your interfaces. You need to enable the tunnel interface, otherwise they will not form DTLS or TLS. Same I have to go and do for the VS Smart. Come here, exit, config, VPN 0, and then interface ETH1, tunnel commit and quit. In the same line also you can write all these commands. So let's see if their debug is saying some packet level. vBond is actually your vEdge type of device. So once you are here, you have to do tunnel interface. Apart from that, you have to do encapsulation IPsec. Little change in the syntax there. Something went wrong. Oh, commit and quit. So what happened at the moment I enable this feature called tunnel interface? You can see my SSH session is gone. So control connections. You can see they are trying to bring up the control connection. First they are trying to authenticating with vBond, and later on obviously they will try to authenticate with the VS Smart. But if I go and refresh the page here, should see some change. So vBond is up, so reachable, means it's part of fabric, but still I can see that VS Smart is down, maybe some issue. We can go and try to figure out that what issue it has. So I lose that access, and that's why we need some sort of management access. Means now from VPN I'm not able to log in, but if I have some sort of management access, management IP, when this also gone, this is there, but vManage is there. Show control connections. I can see vBond is up. I don't think so anything is happening with respect to VS Smart. So maybe VS Smart will not come up. There's some certificate issue. You can go and check that. Here it is showing everything is synced. Everything is okay. Configuration and status is not in sync. Yeah, I can't see because they are not taking this much time. At the moment you run, it will come up. So I'll do one thing. I try to SSH VS Smart. That is 1.3, right? It's completely unreachable, this VS Smart. Ten dot 100.35. Let's try to log in via the management IP. Otherwise, you can go and log in from your VMware. Admin, show interface description. 10.10.100.35 was the IP. VS Smart properties 10.10.100.35. Sys minus L admin 10.10.100.35. Network is gone, seems. Okay, meanwhile, I'm doing the troubleshooting. If you have any question, you please feel free to ask.
So this all
So,
controller is connected with the ETH0 to each other.
ETH0 is our VPN0 interface.
VPN. So
Yes,
all will connect to the ETH0 VPN0, right?
yes,
That is the WAN interface.
yes.
Okay. And you are trying to log in via the VPN 512. That is the management interface to the SSH.
Yeah, means I lost the connection. You can see,
Yes, yes.
and then I try to recover it. But anyways, I know that if I go and do the no tunnel interface, so I could log in just to regain my access. And if I can go here, properties,
And one
170.
more thing I am seeing here, there is a
Mhm.
two V1 information is showing in the control connection.
Yes, you're right. We will check that.
Okay.
You can exit from here. You can do show control connections. Okay. Showing 2v1 IP, but it's like how they have discovered. So one connection will obviously it will get terminated. Both are same, same IP, same identity. There is no
Yeah,
change on that.
it should be the VPN 0, right? Only one.
This is not VPN zero. This is in order
That is
they
the
have.
instance.
Yeah, instance. Yeah, you're right. Oops. The order they have discovered these neighbors or this they have found that. So I can see some issue here because once your tunnel is there, with this configuration, the control plane will never come up. So you have to go inside VPN 0 interface ETH0, and then you have to turn on the tunnel interface. And let's see here what it is showing. So in that case also the vBond will go and check that this vSmart connection, and then only it will allow to come into the control plane. Otherwise it will never allow him. Meanwhile, what I'll do, I'll try to log into vBond via vManage with the system IP. Yes, admin, and then let's see the control connection. Why it is not showing that control? Because at least it will try. So vBond, I'm not seeing anything. Some certificate issue is there. Um, I'll rectify that. But overall, the process is the same. Okay, I will do the lab next time whenever we have class next weekend. I will do the labs till this point. Okay, and from your side also you try to reach up to this point. In next lab, I'll bring up the controller and then I'll go and add the edge devices. We haven't added the edge devices. If you want to check the video, I have shared one video related to home lab. There I have bring up where I have added the edge devices as well. Okay, so please have a look on that particular video,
which
and
video?
I'll share that link
Okay.
here. Just a second. Give me 1 second. I have one video here, home lab. If you go to that particular video, this is not this one, this video, 4 hour 23 minute. Actually, this is 2 day training, 2 hour plus 2 hour. Where is the chat window? You please watch this. video, and actually I have downloaded this video as well. Sometimes I am also referring the same video. So here if you go, all the steps are there on the boot step. These configurations, these are there, run, generate, everything is there, and by the end of this you'll find I have done in the same video. I have added the edge devices as well without any break. So once you do that, you will find that in the dashboard it will show you that it is added.
Okay, please share
Yeah.
this OneNote as well.
Yeah, why
And
not?
also the link also can you please put in the WhatsApp also, like we'll not
See,
forget a
VS
link.
Smart is up. You can see that. You see, VS Smart is up, VBond is up, and then I will upload this video in the day 4 recording as well. I have shared you the link as well. In the YouTube link is there. That video is there, and so many things you will see here in this. And then edge devices and everything is up and running in this.
Yeah, actually the 4 hour is too much time. So if we will share the OneNote, it will be easy to understand step by step
Yeah.
easily.
Uh, Although this is 4-hour video, but this is actually starting in mid. First of all, I have shown that how you can import in GNS. So I have connected this lab in GNS. This is my GNS
Oh, so
edge device.
GNS3 is also available for this SD-WAN.
See this GNS. So what I have done in this lab, that
Super.
this CSR router, there is cloud. This cloud is there in D cloud. I think this is the cloud, NAT0 and cloud. So this device I bring up, I connected with this T cloud. Means as long as you have reachability to the controller, you can bring up any device, any SD-WAN supported device. That's the idea. Okay, and then this lab will start at what time? I can tell you the time. 2:35. 2:35. That's the time. The bring up lab will start.
Yeah, 1.5 an hour, I think.
Yeah, it's 2.5 hours. After 2.5 hours, this lab will start, and it will go for 1.5 hours. Right here.
Yeah.
I will.
Ratnesh,
Hmm, yes,
And this IPsec tunnel, sorry, this
I'll come
DTLS,
to that.
yeah,
I'll
this
come to that.
DTLS.
Don't worry. Don't worry. I will answer those questions. You just bring up your lab first,
Okay, okay.
okay, and then I'll answer each and everything. Don't worry. Yep.
yeah. So if the file size is too high, so can you please upload in the G drive also
I
through
will
this?
upload to GDrive. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yesterday
Sure.
one also will share me the G drive link, right?
Okay. I will
Yesterday.
upload all training to GDrive, and I'll share the GDrive link only.
No.
Okay.
Oh,
Any other question?